This is how to do a 16-mark question on the USA paper. This is the type of question that you'll get. Here at the top is the question, and down here are things that Edexcel suggests you should write about. We're going to look at the mark scheme and an example section of an answer to help you out.
And now it's time for Otway's Top Tips. In at number 1, we have got write properly. Here in the mark scheme you can see it says writing communicates ideas effectively. Using a range of precisely selected historical terms, blah 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 blah. You have to spell and punctuate and use rules of grammar with considerable accuracy. So write things properly and your answer will look like it might be a 16 marker. Also at number 1, you must use paragraphs because it says to organise information clearly and coherently. Tip number 2 is write 4 paragraphs. If Edexcel tell you you may use the following in your answer, use the following in your answer. In at 3, pop pickers, we've got plan your answer.
I would sit and think for a little minute about which I think had the biggest impact on life in the US in the 1920s, and I decided that it was hire purchase. You could decide any of them. There's no right answer, it's how you argue your point. I then decided car ownership came next. Advertising and movies would be the thing that had the least impact on the US in the 1920s, but it certainly still had an impact.
And at number 4, write a short introduction that sets out your argument. Here for the 15 to 16 mark part of the mark scheme it says, or it suggests you must talk about the most important effect, which I have done here. But it also says that you must show that the most important effect on its own could not provide a satisfactory explanation. So a simple point that you could put into your introduction is, undoubtedly other factors contributed to the change in lifestyle that many Americans experienced. Naughty me, bad English. And in at number 5, have a clear, well-argued conclusion. Don't say, I think, sound more sure than that. Also, again, it's a good idea here to show that you realise that all of the factors mentioned are important, and I do it in the first sentence of my conclusion, before going on to continue with my argument that hire purchase is the most important reason.
Here are all the top tips set out for you on how to do a 16-mark question. There's an extra tip, which is to watch the next video in which I will explain how to construct those 4 important paragraphs.